And welcome back to Philly Sports Spotlight. Once again, I'm Phil Andrews, and we return to the segment of the show with this week's trivia question. Now, we told you earlier in the show that Eagles rookie quarterback Nick Foles set a team record with 32 completions and threw for 381 yards. He also threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for another. Who was the last Eagles rookie quarterback to rush for a touchdown? That answer coming up a little later on in the show. And now comes the portion of the show where I vent, and just a little bit. Actually, I know that I'm not alone in my thinking when it comes to this year's winner of the 78th Annual Heisman Trophy Award. Call me old-fashioned, but I just don't believe a freshman should be eligible to win this award. Don't get me wrong. What Johnny Manziel did this year at Texas A&M was phenomenal. But last I checked, the 10-2 Aggies were not playing for the national championship. Take a look at the voting. This is how close the voting was. You see Manziel won the Heisman vote. The only freshman, the first ever freshman to do so, 2,029 votes to Monte Te'o of Notre Dame, the linebacker, just phenomenal this year. 1,706 points is what it is, not really votes. I got to tell you, without Monte Te'o in the lineup, Notre Dame is not playing Alabama for the national title game. He led that team emotionally and physically. And again, if he's not there, Notre Dame, Alabama is not your national title game this year. Manziel, a freshman, he has 3 more years to win the award. Again, the prejudice against a defensive player winning this award rears its ugly head. Okay. Enough about me. Let's talk about Temple football and how they now find themselves looking for their 3rd head coach in as many years. That's right, Steve Addazio recently stepped down as head coach. Not only stepped down, packed his bags, and traveled all the way up to New England to take the same job at Boston College. I must tell you that he said that it was always his dream to coach at BC, even while working his way up through the coaching ranks at top-tier programs like Notre Dame and Florida. No mention, of course, of Temple. I say good riddance to Addazio and good luck to the next coach who has chosen to take over the reins at Temple University. There is perhaps not a more storied rivalry in college football than the Army-Navy game. And recently, the 2 academies met at Lincoln Financial Field for the 113th meeting. For Army, it was a chance to end a 10-game losing streak. For Navy, a chance to honor a midshipman on the mend. Our good buddy Joby Smith was among the almost 70,000 in attendance for this one. And Joby, this game is a smorgasbord for the senses. There's so much going on that day. What was it like?
Phil, the atmosphere was electric, and I've covered many of these games throughout the years, and it never disappoints. Believe me, the passion and energy for both squads playing in this game every year is hard to match, and forget about the regular season records. This is always about pride.
Have fun, y'all. Get it, get it, get it. Yo, don't stop. Ecstatic, fan. Get it, get it, get it. Hey, get it, get it, get it. Yo, don't stop. Ecstatic, fan. Get it, get it, get it.
It's one of the most storied rivalries in all of college football, the 113th renewal of Army taking on Navy at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly.
Neither team scored through the first quarter. Then Navy gets on the board with 9:27 left in the half. Noah Copeland from 12 yards out. He rushed for 99 in the game, and it was 7-zip middies until about 3 minutes later when Army QB Trent Steelman, still looking for his first ever victory over the Naval Academy, tying it up on the 11-yard run. Steelman finished with 104 on the ground and is the U.S. Military Academy quarterback career rush leader with 3,328 and 45 TDs. Both teams went into the locker room with the score knotted up at 10 apiece after a couple of last-minute field goals. Then later, with 3:36 to go in the third quarter, Army broke the game open on Eric Osteen's 21-yard field goal that made it 13-10. But Navy rallied back with 4:41 left in the game. Freshman QB Keenan Reynolds scored on an 8-yard TD run.
It's been a long time since Army got that Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and you guys weren't about to let up.
No, sir. You know, we that's our team goal. That was our team goal coming in, and we finally got that accomplished. Now we got to finish off the last one to win the bowl game.
3 lost fumbles turned out to be the difference for the Black Knights, and the final giveaway came with this bad exchange between Steelman and Larry Dixon on the 14-yard line.
Army hasn't won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy since 1996, thanks to the 17-13 victory by Navy. Afterwards, Coach Ellison talked about the loss.
Give them credit. They did a nice job of throwing and catching. That's not the difference. The difference is those things that, the kicking game and turnovers.
By the way, we talked about the midshipmen playing for midshipmen on the men. Ralph Montalvo is a freshman quarterback that got in a car accident over the Thanksgiving break, still in a hospital today. Every one of those Navy midshipmen were playing that game for him. Once again, another great report by you, Joby. And you heard my rant earlier about the Heisman Trophy. Sorry, but I got to get your opinion. You heard me rant about whether or not a freshman should be eligible. Yes or no? Do you agree with me or not?
I don't think a freshman should be eligible. His body of work was incredible this year in the Southeastern Conference, but I think Manti Te'o was probably deserving of that award.
And I think Manti will agree with you.
Absolutely.
Listen, by the way, in honor of your Army-Navy report, look at what I did. I just wanted to go back and see when the last time was anybody from the service academies won this Heisman Trophy. Believe it or not, there were 5 winners from the service academies. Let's take a look at that. The last, of course, is the great Roger Staubach. He's the only member of this list in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, went on to play for the Dallas Cowboys. You see there, Navy won the last 2, and then Army, they had the Doc Blanchard, right? Glenn Davis and Pete Dawkins. But listen, in this time and era of college football, you will never see, I don't believe, another member of either academy getting a chance to win that Heisman Trophy. Okay, folks, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, Joby is going to check in with us and talk about the Hawks from Hawk Hill. That's right, the St. Joe's basketball season is underway, and he had a chance to talk with Phil Martelli to find out where they're headed this season. Stay tuned.